I guess the moral of the story is don't ever miss the dock.
I love that that's what the transition was, so that everybody goes, the moral of the story is don't miss the dock.
Yeah. Welcome in, Go Hobo Go.
Yeah.
Nice to see you in the chat. We interact on Blue Sky. But yeah, now we see you in here. Awesome.
Frankie, thank you very much for that tier 1 subscription.
Yes,
We
thank
greatly
you,
appreciate
Frankie.
that.
Thank you, Frank.
Although I wonder why my notifications are not working. It's weird.
Before we get started, I do have something I want to show everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Are
What
they
the
tassels?
fuck is that?
Oh, she got a daddy, like chain, what is this, Bling Town here?
Yeah, like a pimp necklace, daddy. I had this made specially.
Somehow I feel like you wouldn't have to struggle too hard to get one that says daddy.
You'd be surprised, actually. So, yeah, just a podcast daddy, because they charge per letter. That was too much. So I just settled for daddy.
Charge per letter. Okay.
Per letter, yep.
Siren I says, moral of the story is check your notification settings. We will do that.
We will do that. But yeah, let me know if it's too bright, if it's blinding you guys from all the bling.
That's a little muted. Is that what, 8K gold?
I can hear the jealousy in your voice, and it's not very becoming.
Now, where's your fur coat and your cane and your top hat? Where's
I
that
didn't want to overdo it just for this show.
Okay. That's bullshit.
Maybe PRGE. Will that be too much for PRGE?
Just like walking around like,
yeah.
If you want to be conversation starter, right?
Right.
Get a pimp outfit.
People be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Doogie Forever says,
you
let's
ask.
start a GoFundMe for Blue's full podcast daddy bling.
So if Blue is going to be the pimp, what does that make us?
You know what that makes you.
I think I'm technically bottom bitch. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Everybody knows what that makes you too.
You could be making some mother effing money, Ryan.
And if there's money left over in the GoFundMe, it will be used to deck out you two in your proper attire.
Oh, we got to get you pretty well decked out first. Like you got to get the gator shoes, the fur coat, the satin, the silk suit, and we get whatever's left over. We're the plebs.
Can I say though, I don't think Blue is a very good pimp name. So we have to come up with something, like hey, my name is Pepper Jack, like stuff like that, right?
Pepper Jack.
Pepper Jack.
Right.
Okay. We can workshop it. We have until October.
Yeah.
I mean, and technically, wouldn't you be a madam?
Mistress?
I mean, then again, she is daddy, so I don't know.
Yeah, does it matter?
Blue D. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming and welcome to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, the worst, and the weirdest headlines of the past week of the video game industry.
Keep going. I'm just telling her.
I only saw your hand. I didn't see that she had it up and you were doing this.
Yeah.
It was almost like. All right, we're starting off strong. This is episode 157, and today is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. My name is Ryan, aka Retro Game Brews, and I have with me two fantastic co-hosts. The first of which has renounced her goth ways and is now contemplating joining the Grateful Dead / Fish Tour 2025 with her tie-dye hoodie that she loves so much. Blue, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And if I didn't like the Grateful Dead, I would be more offended at this. But you know what?
I wouldn't have pinned you though as a Grateful Dead.
You like the Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's one big fucking jam fest. That's all it is. Nope.
In the right atmosphere.
I was gonna say, I don't think you can be sober and listen to that music.
Probably not.
Understood. And next up, I have a gentleman. Speaking of which, next up, I have a gentleman who is joining us today that recently revealed, even though subtly, that he takes a lot of psychedelics before he podcasts with us. Because last week, he said that not only does Andy have a better looking face than me, but a better looking voice as well. So apparently he can see voices. Donnie, how you doing today?
He's got a voice for television. Yeah, it's you slip up once and you're ridiculed, you're shamed, you're made fun of, you're poked, you're prodded, you're out there on the operating table with your legs spread open for everybody to see.
Hi, the junior men's.
That can be very refreshing.
All right, so why don't we jump into our reviews, reactions, and requests. First up from Grumpy de Grumpster. Mattel football should be in the World Video Game Hall of Fame for sure. Everyone had one of those things in the early 80s, and it was mobile gaming before Game Boy.
It was head to toe legit.
Too legit?
Too legit to quit.
I will say, it's one of those situations where at the time, I'm sure it was revolutionary and
Of
it
course.
was very cool. And but
Mhm.
you go back and that thing is barely playable.
Does not hold up. It's worse than a Tiger electronic handheld.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I will agree with him on that 100%. At least there's the characters are
Yeah.
on the LCD screen, right? Just rather than like lines.
This is
Like
just a
red lines.
dot.
Yep. Lovely. All right. Next up from Kensei Den. Shared a Tamagotchi with a girl I had a crush on in high school. One day I went to school and forgot it at home and it died. The girl stopped talking to me. Tamagotchi is genius design. Not only starting relationships, but quickly ending them.
Daddy, sorry.
Those things were needy, I will say. I had one, and if you didn't take care of it, it got mad at you, would poop all over the place. It was definitely needy.
Yeah, but it's a good vetting tool, because if he can't take care of a Tamagotchi and fulfill his end of the bargain, then he's not going to do anything else.
No. And I got a question. So once the Tamagotchi died, was that it?
No, you can reset it.
Oh,
a
okay.
little thing on the back. In fact, I know this very well because I had it on like a lanyard for some reason on the back of my door, and one time I took the batteries out to replace it, but I forgot where one of the screws were, so the door didn't close quite the whole way. So in order for me to play it, I had to like tape it shut, and someday I just turned off the tape to just make it die. Well, anytime it would hit the door,
Make
it
it
would
die.
activate the battery, and all of a sudden you would get like the beginning beep, like beep, every single time.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And last up from GoldenEye 1971, this episode brought to you by Centrum Silver. It's because I wasn't there to bring youth and exuberance.
Oh,
Youth and exuberance, my ass.
right. He says with the beard full of silver.
Right.
Hey. All right, so why don't we go ahead and shout out our patrons for the week?
We couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Agil 3030, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over, Games with Coffee, Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, who just showed up in chat, Davey PGH, the Pixel Pond family, including Shannon and Luke, Zach Huge Thanks, Puzzle Butter or Puzzle Better? Number one blue.
So many things going through my head about the possibilities of Puzzle Butter.
Number one Blue Sick Voice fan, John Barron, Sony, president of the Nip Nip fan club, Evo Lust, Rai Rai's secret best friend, Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Moradib, Michael, he called me a baboon. He called me a baboon. He thinks I'm his wife. Lakite, Emo-esque, Bill Tucker, the real Retro Game Brews, Fruitcakes Pickled Pepper, Ducks with Thick Thighs, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress, Wizard of Zardoz, Bops and Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Loud Moth, Retro Blast Pat, BNT Zillaguy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Sheriff Snacks, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, and Terry Canair. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You'll also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more. And I would like to try that and say, he called me a baboon. He thinks I'm his wife. Like
I don't know. That seems like it's only German. It's not
Right.
German Rodney Dangerfield.
I don't think I don't think you can successfully mix the two together.
They're
It just does not
incompatible.
work.
It's a challenge. Yeah.
Correct.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like Brooklyn and German. Completely different vibes. Completely
Right.
different.
Mutually exclusive accents. Okay.
I mean, you could
Puzzle.
say like German things in a Rodney Dangerfield accent,
Yeah.
right?
A 9.
Hey, hey.
Puzzle Butter does confirm it's butter, just for the Patreon.
Oh yeah, she got emotes that are puzzle butter. 9 respect it up.
Oh God.
I get 9 respect.
All right, so let's go take a look at our headlines.
All right, our headline segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob picks 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. Right now, they're playing through Psychic World. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes to learn more.
Psychic World. Master System.
Never heard of this.
Yeah,
Got
I
a big fatty blank.
I
just
wonder if it's like taboo for the NES.
well, the cover looks like it's a female with robot arms and a 2-headed dragon and a tiger or a liger, maybe. I don't know. It's classic early 80s Sega Genesis cover art, so
You just
Okay.
described the biggest fever dream I think I've ever heard. It's like you threw it like in a Mad Libs, like, all right, it's like, need another adjective, need another adjective, need a mystical creature.
2 snakes at the same time, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this week's headlines. First up, don't let your kids be on Roblox, says the Roblox CEO before comparing himself to Walt Disney and declaring the platform the future of communication. Speaking to BBC News, Roblox Corporation co-founder and CEO David Baszucki, I don't know if I said that right, but don't care, said the parents worried about their kids using Roblox have a fair, simple option open to them. If you're not comfortable, don't let your kids on Roblox, he continued. We do in the company take the attitude that any bad, even one bad incident is one too many. I would say that behind the scenes, the analysis goes all the way to, if necessary, reaching out to law enforcement. Last year, the company announced new rules for under 13s following a scathing child safety report and has AI systems that monitor communications. We don't condone any type of image sharing on our platform, and you'll see us getting more and more, I think, way beyond where the law is on this type of behavior, says Dave. Things get slightly opposite later in the
Opposite?
interview. Okay, I'm not crazy. That's what this
Right.
is, right? Yeah. Okay. Later in the interview, as Dave compares the experience of building Roblox to how Walt Disney must have felt when building Disney into what it is. The job is a little like having the opportunity he had a long time ago when he was designing the Magic Kingdom. If that isn't grandiose enough, Dave is asked to describe Roblox in 3 words and goes for 4: the future of communication. Wow.
Mucho wow. First off, let me say thank you very much for Paul McGowan for subscribing to the channel. We greatly appreciate that. We hope you like what you see here. We hope you like the podcast. And we are live every Wednesday, so this is your new spot. This is where you
Thank
live
you,
now.
Paul. So, yeah, this guy is, he's very humble. Humble is the first word that came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if comparing yourself to Walt is exactly where you want to go.
Be-
Um,
You know why he did that, right? Because
course, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, but not for the racism, not for the sexism or anything like that. Because in this day and age, if you're comparing yourself to Walt Disney for that, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it pans out.
I mean, we don't know that's not why he's doing it.
Correct. We don't.
But I get one thing I do agree with him, though, is that often we've talked about this too, right? Is as a parent, it is your responsibility to look at the content that your kids are playing and getting involved with, and if you don't like it, then don't let them play. Even
Correct.
maybe an unpopular conversation that you have to have with your kids, especially considering all their friends are on Roblox, and
Mm-hmm.
all they want for Christmas is Robux and all that good stuff. But let's be honest, at the end of the day, if you don't want your children potentially exposed to something negative and harmful to their, their psyche, their personality, whatever, uh, then yeah, you certainly have that. And he reiterates that.
Yeah.
And they've done a lot to try to prevent this. But what I think we have said in the past is that um, you typically don't see this until you get caught, which they
Of
did,
course.
Yeah.
right? And so they're trying to overcompensate, utilize this as a PR move to say we're doing even more than what's required of us. It's like the Titanic technically had twice as many lifeboats on it that were required by law, but we know how that turned out. All I'm saying is I this to me stinks of PR fluff with
Mm.
a mixture of like hubris and the inability to recognize that he is not God, more or less, because that's what it's coming across as, a God complex.
Right.
Let's be honest.
He's the god of Roblox, apparently. But yeah, it is kind of annoying because instead of like taking ownership of his own platform, taking ownership of the bad things that have happened and acknowledging them and like we're not going to run from this. We're going to face it head on and we're going to fix these problems and make sure our platform is absolutely as safe as it can be.
Mhm.
He's like, if you don't like it, you can just leave. Like whatever, we don't care. Just stop bothering me.
Right.
And then continuing to insist that no, we're the future of communication and our platform is perfectly safe and blah blah blah. This does kind of read like somebody with a god complex who just it's I'm not the problem, you're all the problem.
Mhm.
Now that's the problem with that is that it's something that you're trying to interpret via text, right?
Mhm.
You're getting the I have a complex, and if you don't like it, you can leave. What I'm seeing is, if you're not comfortable, don't let your kids be on Roblox. We're even going so far as to say if you find anything, go to law enforcement. Like we're here for you. We're here for you, parents. And so I'm reading into it a little bit differently, but it's still the same. You got caught, and now you're backpedaling, trying to institute all of these fixes. Which great, it sucks that stuff had to happen first in order for you to do this. But
Mhm.
I do like the fact that they are making this place or seemingly safer for kids to be on.
I'm seeing though a shift in how CEOs communicate. And we've talked about this. CEO says something stupid, then has to backpedal. It's like
Right.
a
Yeah.
theme of the last 2 years. But if you went back in the '90s, and CEOs didn't have access to social media, there were a lot of young CEOs when
It was for the
the
best, really.
right. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I'm
Oh,
getting at,
God.
right? Because you got guys like Zuckerberg, Bezos, Elon Musk, right? Uh, and the guy from Roblox, they're not able to hide their personality issues, right? And so you've got this like almost it's prior to that. I'm sure in the '90s there were plenty of CEOs that thought they were, God's gift to whatever, right?
Mhm.
Um, but it wasn't out there in the public. When something would go wrong, you would have a CEO get on there and make apologies for things and say, we're doing better. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Very prim, proper, professional. And now it just seems like a kid running with scissors, right? It's just like,
Mm.
hey, whatever. Like,
Right.
uh, and I don't know if I like this transition. There's a part of me that maybe because I'm older and I guess I have more, how would I put it? Not like more expectations of somebody in that role than
Well,
maybe.
yeah, if you're making a gazillion dollars, you should be able to at least put a professional front on in public. But as TKN85 says, it's a feature, not a bug for CEOs.
Right, right. That's a good point.
And then Puzzle Better says, Roblox, people have to parent their kids. I play with my kid because all the kids play, but I either play with them or have a trusted adult hang with them. Chat up where I can see it. Making it safer is good, and Roblox is better than some with what they filter, but not complete.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Welcome in, NetSaver.
Yeah,
Howdy.
welcome to the show. Thanks for joining.
Glad you could make it.
And go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was gonna say Puzzle's nailing it. This is exactly what you should be doing with your kids.
Exactly.
You know,
Hmm.
and with our generation too, let's be honest, we grew up with access to gaming and access to online gaming platforms, so we should know best out of this. And it's surprising to me how few people actually do. I
I
mean,
suppose.
it was the
Most of
Wild
us,
West.
yeah, most of us grew up on the wild west of the internet, and we're fine. Like,
Yeah,
we never got
everything's fine.
abducted or anything like that. So,
Fine is, I think, easier.
okay. Well, yeah. Physically, we're still here. Mentally, I mean, who even knows? But like, we never got abducted or anything like that. So I might hazard that quite a lot of parents our age are just kind of like maybe don't think it's as dangerous as it possibly could be.
Well, and I think too is what Puzzle Better isn't doing like the helicopter parent thing, right? But she knows that there's a platform that has potential danger to it. I mean, you're not going to send your kid off to do skydiving and be like, call me when you get down to the ground. You know, like,
Yeah, I
you
trust
know,
I
you.
mean, you
yeah.
might.
I mean, our parents kind of did, you know, just let him out into the yard and he'll be back by the time 8 o'clock rolls around. Oh, the cops showed up, brought him home, huh? Great job, Billy.
I've been guilty of that before.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear that story.
Right. Oh,
Next
It's in-
uncut.
yeah. Next week is an uncut, not a play.
It's in the vault. It's in the vault.
All right, next up, Konami aired its latest Silent Hill transmission broadcast just last week, sharing more details about the upcoming Silent Hill F. The broadcast didn't include much in the way of gameplay, though. Is that actually what it is, Silent Hill F, and not just there's a random F?
No, it's Silent
Yeah.
Hill F.
Okay.
Silent Hill F.
All right. In lieu of that, fans have been poring over the content warnings and ESRB ratings for Silent Hill F, both of which are live and provide some surprisingly detailed description of what horrors await. Over on the ESRB rating, Silent Hill F garnered a mature 17 rating. That's not terribly surprising, but it's the rating summary that offers some more detail. Some of the content called out the summary, including characters buried alive inside a cage, a woman branded with a hot iron, a character sawing off her own arm, a character slicing off portions of a character's face, and the most horrifying in all, a nude mannequin-like character with exposed buttocks, partially exposed breasts. Silent Hill F has no release date at the moment, though having an ESRB rating this detailed certainly suggests that it's not far off. It's currently targeting PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC when it does launch. ESRB, thanks for the spoiler alert.
I know, but they make the joke in the article, but that's funny that there's all these horrendous things that are happening in the game, but also you need to be careful about exposed butt.
Can't have any of that.
Can't have any of that.
Well,
oh
I
my
was
God.
fine with the peeling the face off of somebody, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So did you guys get a chance to watch this new trailer that they have for this?
I did not.
I have an excuse. I was on a plane most of the day.
I didn't get a chance to read the show notes at all until today, so I apologize that I did not get to go see this.
Oh, that's okay. I watched it, and I shall tell us all about it.
Regardless.
So in a lot of ways, the trailer looks amazing. It looks really high quality. The graphics look great. The monsters look creepy. It's all kind of the stuff that you expect from Silent Hill. This one is set in Japan in the 1960s, so it's a little bit of a different atmosphere for Silent Hill than we're used to. It is centered around the main character looks to be a teenage girl, which, I'm going to be honest, after playing the short message, which was that free one
Mhm.
centered around teenage girls on all their angstiness, that did not make me super excited for Silent Hill F. I don't know how invested I can get in a story that is centered around high school girls and their dramas.
Because they're mean.
Isn't it like half of anime? Is that?
Not the anime that I watch.
Did you watch Sailor Moon growing up?
No.
Really? I would have
Yeah.
pegged you as like a huge Sailor Moon fan. I'm sorry. All right. My entire
That is
point and everything I
emotion.
had to say after that completely watched when you said no. So great.
Yeah,
Great job.
that's just me personally. The feedback that I've seen online was a lot of people are just really excited for it, especially after the success of the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Right.
If this game is as good as that one, then I'm sure it will be an amazing success. It was just me personally. I was like, yes, it looks great. High schoolers. I don't know, but
So
we'll see. They may surprise me.
have they stated anything about how the gameplay is going to be? Whether it's first person, third person, action adventure, what we've known from the Silent Hill universe, or are we going to get like a really horrible surprise and it's going to be like a deck builder game?
Well, the ESRB maybe would have spoiled the deck builder part.
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know. I like deck builders.
but it doesn't fit with a Silent Hill game.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Go Hoboco says, "What if the high schoolers have a daddy medallion?" Then you know what? I'm in 100%.
Jeez.
Silent Hill rhythm game might be fun though.
Ooh.
But Silent Hill doesn't really have like it's got atmospheric music, but it doesn't really have music.
So then like just turn it into J-pop and go for it, you know? Just like and it can be, you know, Pyramid Head dancing in the corner, right? Right? And then
This is what caused Silent Hill.
there we go. There we go. I will say, when did ESRB start describing specifically what was in a game? Last time I remember, it was just like violence, gore, blood,
Sexual
that was it.
situations, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, general. I'm not sure why or when that started happening, but yeah, I think these are fairly spoilery type stuff. So you'll be playing the game and you'll be like, "Oh, okay, there's the character who's getting burned alive in a cage. I knew that was coming." You can make like
Right.
a bingo card of it or something. I don't know, but
They spliced in like 100 cages, so you have no idea, right? The entire game is cages, and it's like the 45th cage.
Oh God. Like that
yeah,
anticipation is just building constantly.
Yes,
and you're
exactly, right? Rocky
Yeah.
Horror.
or it's a mechanic in the game. Like you have to go in the cage. You're like, no, I know what happens if I go in the cage. I'm gonna get burned alive, so I'm not doing it.
like, Puzzle Butter asks, what would the special gamepad look like? And it's that monstrosity, that bacteria monstrosity. That's what the gamepad would be.
Yes, the
Oh.
bacteria game controller. They would make a larger version of it that looked like the power pad, and that's what you would dance on.
Mm-hmm.
I still got to say though, I have a hard time not at least being quasi excited for a Silent Hill game, considering the gap from the last time, besides remakes we've had. So a new addition to the Silent Hill. So this is probably going to be a one that, regardless of what reviews say, whatever, I'm going to check it out. This is you're going to turn the lights off, go for it. I've played, you know, the first two myself, and I think maybe it's time to get back into it. But
Now, you can say it's time to get back into it, but don't tell us that you're going to play it when we all know well that you don't keep your promises when it comes to those types of things.
This is true. This is true.
so I have to like make it a blood oath then, like if I every time I say I want to play a game.
Come on, give it to us.
Yeah. I mean, history has proven you're a liar.
Yeah, I'll be
Ooh.
playing Hollow Knight next week.
Yeah, see? Junkie Forever says, stream it. You got to prove it.
I would stream Silent Hill for sure.
The
Okay.
Silent Hill 2 remake, like that entire time I'm playing that game, like my skin was crawling. I was on edge. I was anxious and nervous and just like kind of mad at the amount of jump scares and stuff like that. They did one hell of a job with that game. And if Silent Hill F is on that par or better, then even though like I just described that I was uncomfortable, I still like that particular environment and atmosphere. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to pick it up if it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
That's why you watch horror movies, right? You
Of
wanna
course.
feel uncomfortable, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
All Silent Hill fans are, or all horror fans are essentially a little bit masochistic. But
Mhm.
as Webhead says, you must swear it on the daddy medallion.
No me patre, Philly.
I don't have a lot of experience with doing it, but
Oh.
I read about it, and
I think I
easy
can
as
do it.
cake, easy as crumb cake.
Oh.
Love it. All right, next up, would you like to taste fish soup in VR? Me neither. But a team of researchers at the Ohio State University, the Ohio State University has developed a way to replicate realistic flavors for virtual reality experiences, especially if it's open your mouth, insert an electronic strip under your tongue, and delight in the experience of having artificially flavored hydrogels pumped into your most sensitive areas. Donnie, that was so fitting.
pumped into your what?
Yep.
Pumped into your most sensitive
sensitive areas. Yes.
And that's, I just want you all to know that's copy pasted directly from the article. I did not change a thing.
Now it makes me think that you've changed things in the past. All right. Well, one of the most sensitive anyway. The team has published its work under a catchy title of a sensor actuator coupled guestery interface chemical connecting virtual and real environments with remote tasting. Although they've realized it's a bit of a mouthful, and instead have chosen to call it the e-taste system. Food is first analyzed with sensors to detect flavor, which are then replicated via the oral insertion of several tastes, including inducing chemicals.
Oral insertion.
Yep. They've these being sodium chloride for salt, citric acid for sour, glucose for sweet, magnesium chloride for bitter, and glutamate for umami. Apparently, the system. Apparently, the system works relatively well, as 80% of the small test group of 10 people reported that they could distinguish between lemonade cake, fried eggs, fish soup, and coffee.
What about ass? Could you?
That's like I was just about to say, when they make porn VR.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
As Ducks in Disguise
no.
says, inserted tastes, yeah, I'm out. Because absolutely, as you're reading this, all of our minds went one place, and all of our
Yep.
minds went the same place. And we know that this is, if this technology works out, we know exactly where it's going.
Would you rather have the taste of vision or the smell of vision? Or both?
I feel like with smell-o-vision, if there's a certain smell, you can't get away from it. With taste-o-vision, just shut your mouth.
But it's under your tongue.
The entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't talk while I'm playing?
You should be able to. They might.
Yeah.
Not well, but
Well, Bobcat Goldthwait.
Hey, man.
I know, but I mean, do you want to taste the fish soup or not? You got to make some sacrifices.
Fair. It's fair. It reminds me of the gum in Willy Wonka. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The full-length dinner.
Potato.
Yeah. Snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. Love the concept in certain applications.
Which applications are those?
The one you're thinking of. But also think about, like, okay, so for example, Cooking Mama, right? Or
Yeah.
Overcooked or something like that, where it's like a cooking simulator. You could taste your food afterwards, which would be kind of cool, right? And you can find out if the culinary concoction that you've created was delicious or not. But yeah, put too much salt in it, you're gonna taste it right away.
Simon Ashtier says, Pat's note, cherry pie flavor corrected where players were previously experiencing wet dog. Hello, Moobly. How are you doing? Mobley?
Hello. I mean, I could see, like, the coffee, the lemonade, the cake, those all kind of sound like they wouldn't be too bad. I'm not sure why they chose fried egg and fish soup. Both of those sound absolutely awful. Like, do you want just like sulfur egg taste
No.
in your mouth?
You want listen, well, I'm not trying to be perverted, but you want sweet, you want creamy, you want those types of, see, I told you. You want those types of tastes that, like tomato soup, like what she's talking about in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I can taste it. It's going down my throat. It's warm, creamy soup.
I bet it is.
Yeah, that's what you want. You don't want a fried egg. You don't want Brussels sprouts. You don't want all the nasty foods that you're just like, ugh. No, give me the sweet stuff.
You know, I will say that I guarantee you, though, there's always been something in a video game that you wanted to taste, right?
Mm.
There's always been a food somewhere in some playable portion of a game that you're like, you know
Yeah.
what, I'd love to taste that. Or like
Yeah.
a drink or whatever. So that could certainly make the experience more immersive. This is one of those things where it's probably 10 years off from being even close to being viable,
Right.
right? And how much is it? Because it says it's like these little gels, right, that go into your mouth. So are you going to be spending hundreds of dollars a month on a subscription to your gels so you can play your game?
It's probably not aimed at the pleb audience who can't afford that.
Go Hobo Go says it's the only way anyone can afford to taste eggs anymore. Good one. Good
Haven't the prices
one.
dropped?
Yeah, and Puzzle Bitter says it's like the Harry Potter beans. You just
Ooh.
really never know what
Bamboozled.
you're gonna get. You get real unlucky, you get the barf one.
Well, Simon Astor says, though it might finally answer a question I've had since I was 5. Pac-Man, what do those pellets taste like?
Yeah.
Now, are those the bean boozled beans?
Hmm.
And we just
Every
never
time you
knew
bite
it.
into one.
Yeah.
In my head, they always had-
booger.
Like banana runs.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what they taste like. In my
And
head, that's what they
they're
taste
okay.
like.
I don't
Yeah.
mind a banana runt.
Yeah. Does the Pac-Man ghost Inky taste different than Blinky?
Yeah, more pineapple on this one.
Oh man, black licorice again. All right. Last up, Jonah Hill's Superbad character was so reprehensible that Sony insisted he not touch a PlayStation during the comedy's video game scenes, speaking to Rotten Tomatoes in a South by Southwest 2025 red carpet interview. Superbad co-writer Seth Rogen has revealed that Sony had a specific requirement before giving its blessing on PlayStation being in the film. They were like, well, we can't have him interact with our products because it's too vile of a character, explains Rogen. And I was like, it's based on me. That's very insulting. But we accommodated them ultimately. Sony Pictures co-financed the film so that they had a lot of leverage over a few top-notch comics trying to make a generational comedy. Ultimately, instead of Hill's character key smashing his controller and yelling at the TV when he died in a game, Michael Cera's character can be seen playing Getaway Black Monday on PS2 in the scene. But fun fact, there's actually a bit of gag with one of Cera's lines. He mentions using an M16 assault rifle in the game, but the Getaway Black Monday, a British cop game, doesn't include them in the weapons arsenal. Go figure. Was his character that reprehensible, though?
I mean, I kind of thought they both were, but like if you saw him playing a PlayStation, would that make you go, oh,
Yeah, like-
how dare you? I will never touch PlayStation again. I mean, you're already paid to watch the movie. So clearly you're not shocked by this kind of humor. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm just thinking about like the meme, it's like, can't play the PlayStation on screen. Fuck me, right?
Yeah. What's so bad about a high school kid who's awkward? I didn't really find his character reprehensible.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
Community.
I mean,
movie
I don't
night?
think maybe. I don't recall either of the two main characters really being good guys, but
No.
I mean, it's not like they were horrible.
I mean, he says things that are really vile. I get that, right?
Right.
Like,
Hmm.
and it's mostly him describing things that he would like to do to girls that from just looking at him that he's never done these things. So
Nope.
you
It
know,
never will, probably.
exactly, right? So that's why it's like tongue in cheek. It's funny because he's just so over the top, not grotesque, but like
I'll be right back. I'll
Okay.
be right back.
Yep.
Okay.
Shall we continue, or
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not that, it's just that he's so over the top grotesque with that. But I don't. Again, wasn't it a rated R movie as
Yeah.
well? So it's not like the kids are seeing this and going, "Oh, well, that person said those terrible things. I'm never going to play a PlayStation again." These are all adults, for crying out loud.
Right.
It-
And it was presented as you don't really want to be like this person.
right, right, exactly, exactly.
So it's not like kids are going to watch him playing the PlayStation and be like, I'm going to play PlayStation 2 and I'm going to say these horrible things like Jonah Hill. But
The Notebook of Dicks.
yeah, Doogie Forever says, I must have heard this story like 100 times a day since it was released. So apparently this is old news, but
It's just an interesting tidbit, and that's one of the things I love about going on to IMDb, is just checking out the trivia section of that, and just
mm-hmm.
seeing some of the like behind the scenes stuff that just goes on that's absolutely crazy. And just some of the stuff that's like super fun. So with like Beer Fest, for example, the guys from Broken Lizard, they apparently actually did some of the things that they do on screen like after hours, right? And
Mm-hmm.
apparently didn't turn out so well. Surprise, surprise, right?
Weird. I can't believe that. That's
Right,
crazy.
right. Yeah, I think it could be pretty fun with that, and I don't know. It's just, again, to me, whatever. Sony, you do you, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, strange call outs that they wanted for eh, something so benign.
Yeah. Go Hobo Go says, I mean, he ends up with Emma Stone, so he must have been doing something right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a part of the movie that I never quite bought, but whatever. You suspend your disbelief in order to watch.
We
Welcome
were.
back, everyone. Please donate $5.99 for that foot shot.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Ooh. My apologies.
All good.
No worries.
All right, so where are we at?
Well, we're just about to jump into our new releases.
Okay.
All
Well,
right,
look.
so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at our top 3 new releases.
Atelier Yumiya, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. After the mysterious destruction of the Aladician Empire, alchemy is considered evil and taboo. Now, a lone alchemist takes her first step into this unexplored and perilous land. Fight strategically, utilizing 2 types of attack ranges, which change your skills as you switch between them. Test your ability to make split-second decisions during real-time combat in this action RPG. Rainbreaker, PC. Rainbreaker is a high-octane action roguelike set in a dystopian medieval punk world. Step into the boots of Clef, a fearless rebel ready to rid the world of the kingdom's oppression. Take down the elite and lay siege to the Queen's Grand Bastion. Grab your javelin and become the Rainbreaker. Assassin's Creed Shadows, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Experience an epic action-adventure story set in feudal Japan. Become a lethal shinobi assassin and powerful legendary samurai as you explore a beautiful open world in a time of chaos. And based on these unbelievable descriptions, Ryan, which game are you picking this week?
So Altier Yumiya. Yeah, just as soon as I played the trailer, I knew it was out. It was the anime art style, the cutesy. And then I mean, the only thing I think it's got going for you is you can pet a cat, and that's about it as far as things that I would be interested in. So that one off the list. That was pretty quick. I'm torn between these two. This actually might be I'll try. I want to try both.
Okay.
On this one. Right. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, Japan. You know me. I love that stuff. And I've heard some positive feedback about this potentially. I think a lot of people are expecting it to fail though, based off of just how Ubisoft has been doing up until this point. So
Well, their last few years have not been good.
right, right. So there is some concern about that, but I think people are, on the whole, more positive than I was expecting based off of that. So for me, at least, this is definitely something I mean, it plays to all the things I would like. So I get it. It seems like a knock or knocking it out of the park for me. But Rainbreaker looks like the coolest version of Diablo 2, and it looks so badass. And the only thing that I think at this point that just hinders it a little bit is that you play as one character the entire time. You don't get to go back and choose different classes like you can in Diablo 2. But outside of that, visually stunning. It sounds like it's got a rockin' soundtrack. It is so it looks so fun in the sense that you're traversing and it feels like you're a part of this epic battle that's happening, and you got the javelin and you're casting spells and all that kind of stuff. It looks so badass, and the fact that it's that medieval cyberpunk view as well makes it really appealing. So I mean, just based off of that, I would probably go with Rainbreaker over Assassin's Creed. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn between the two.
Just like Natalie Imbruglia. So, Blue, what about you? What are you going with this week?
So, is the title of the series Atelier? Yumia?
I don't know. I didn't know how to read that. Maybe French.
Somebody's gonna Ashley us, so I thought
Yeah.
I'd throw in another pronunciation just to show we're trying. We're giving like the bare minimum of effort, but we're trying. Anyway, that one, yeah, it's kind of the trailer looks like your basic anime RPG type of stuff. You know what to expect. I kind of like those games from time to time. I think this is a series though.
Mhm.
I don't know if it would be important to play the others or not, but in a pinch, I don't mind that one. Next up is Rainbreaker, which it looks freaking awesome. It looks like if Hades had Riot Girl energy with
Ooh.
neon colors. And I'm so here for it. It looks amazing. The only thing that's holding me back from that one is it's only on PC.
Yeah, it's a bold move, only releasing it on one particular app platform.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that if it does well, it will be able to go to other platforms. But yeah, for now, uh, I will hold out for now, which leaves me with Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I have in the past been a very big Assassin's Creed fan, but I got to admit that after Odyssey, like the formula is a little old for me at this point.
Yep.
And like you don't even really need to explain the game in the little description, the little blurb, because everybody knows what Assassin's Creed is. You know exactly what you're going to get. The ratings came out, they were 7s
Mhm.
mostly, and that's kind of what you'd expect for an Assassin's Creed game. So this I'm sure it'll be great. I know people have been waiting forever for a Assassin's Creed set in Japan, but as of right now, I'm probably not gonna do that one. So for me this week, Rainbreaker, and I'll cross my fingers that it comes to a console.
Agreed.
Mhm.
What about you, Donnie?
So, Atelier, whatever. No.
Donnie also drives a Chevrolet.
That name looks like a Chevrolet, the Chevy Yumia. I saw it, and it's that art style that it's so overplayed and overdone. I was like, nope, instant. Nope, can't get into it.
Yep.
And it might be a great game for all I know, but I'm not going to find this out. Assassin's Creed, I have not played an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag.
Ooh, that's why you haven't.
Well, I didn't particularly hate Black Flag. I played the first Assassin's Creed. I skipped the next couple ones, picked up Black Flag, and I was just like, it's the Assassin's Creed games just do not do it for me for some odd reason.
Mhm.
So I'm probably not going to get into the latest entry of Assassin's Creed, which leaves us with Rainbreaker. And the description is beautiful. It's a roguelike, dystopian, medieval punk, not really cyberpunk, maybe, but just looking at the game, and it's basically, like you said, it's Diablo 2, with just a punk style setting and only one particular class or person. So that's a little upsetting. I'd like a little bit more variety. I can't get behind Clef. Really?
That's a terrible name, you're right?
Clef? Okay.
Maybe it's a very, very strong medieval name.
Wyclef. I could get behind Wyclef, but not Clef. Just Clef without the Y. It just doesn't make any sense.
Why Clef?
Exactly. That's a great name. I'll take it. But Rainbreaker looks amazing. The color palette is exactly what I love seeing from a game, and I'll probably pick this up.
TKN85 says, I look forward to my Assassin's Creed tradition of playing it for 5 hours, getting bored, and never touching it again.
That's an expensive 5-hour experiment.
Right.
Right.
All right, so before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by A Gamer Looks at 40 podcast. This show explores the history of video games through the stories and experiences of people who lived it. This week's question: what's the worst betrayal you've done in a video game that you didn't have to do? Think Mario jumping off Yoshi to save himself from falling kind of vibe. Let Bill know your answer by sending him a tweet at A Gamer Looks at 40 on Twitter and Blue Sky.
One of the more recent ones, so out of all the video games out there that I played, I can't really remember something like this, but I am currently playing Elden Ring.
What did you do?
There is a samurai who is currently residing under an overpass or whatever, and my kids told me to kill him. And I'm like, why?
Oh,
Why? Why would I want to do that? He hasn't done anything to me. You can get a
But he's
really
got a
cool
good sword.
sword, Dad. I'm like, it feels wrong. For me, the type of person that I am, even though I know it's a video game, it felt wrong to go and kill this guy to obtain a weapon when he didn't wrong me in any way, shape, or form. So I felt
no.
gross.
In fact, he's there to help you.
Yeah, and there you go. I screwed him over for a weapon that I don't even use anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Blue and I played through Elden Ring at the same time, and I didn't kill any of the NPCs unless I had to, and he killed like everybody.
Oh, God.
And then it wasn't very long, but I'm like, how come you have so much more equipment than I do?
And then I just started blasting.
Just started blasting, right?
Pretty much. So for me, it was in a little indie roguelike deck builder game called Frost. And the point of this game is that you are running from this perpetual ice storm. And so, and every time you move a space essentially closer to freedom, there's like bandits there to kill you, or wolves, or bears, or whatever. It's a really, really difficult game. And there's a card in your deck that is your pet. It's a cat or it's a dog or something. But the long story short is the pet card does not contribute anything else to your deck. It's just there.
Okay.
And so when they introduce the pet card, they say, might come in handy if you need to get away. And then eventually, they tell you you can sacrifice the pet. The pet will die in your place and you can get away. And when I saw that, I was like, no, absolutely not. I would never do that to my cat or dog.
Ooh.
Well, it was
The
only a
turn
few
tables.
turns later where I was like, God damn it. If I don't like sacrifice the cat, then I'm going to die. Like, we'll all die. The game will end. There'd be no point. So utilitarian,
It's like Sophie's Choice.
yeah, like Sophie's Choice. Utilitarian ethics, like the greatest good. And so sorry, cat. I had to. I
So-
still feel bad though.
Throughout the rest of the game, the cat's going to be dead.
Yeah, the cat's dead the rest of the time.
No
Huh.
new cat. No going to the shelter.
There's no shelter there. No.
Mm.
You might be able to barter for another cat, but
Snowball has to go, says Ramboski.
yeah. See, Ramboski gets it. I didn't want to. I felt bad, but like it had to be done.
So I was thinking about this, and there's so many things that come to mind. It's like, Mario throwing out the penguin off the ledge, right? It's not
Mhm.
Sure.
saving the aliens in Super Metroid. It's stealing the kids' money in Final Fantasy VII, or the 10 Phoenix Downs from the baby bird. All portrayals, right? But the one thing that resonated with me has to do with playing Halo in LAN parties back in the day. Because Halo has friendly fire. And I
Oh.
don't know how many times I would grab the rocket launcher. Didn't care who was on my team that was around there. Just boo, let it off, right? Because I wanted more kills, and I wanted, So it got to the point where I was instructed that I was no longer eligible to pick up the rocket launcher because I would play like, "Damn it, Ryan!" I was like, "What? You got in the way." Like, it
I
makes a
mean,
big boom boom.
It's a boom boom.
the KD has to look good,
Right,
no
of
matter how
course,
it gets there.
Exactly.
That's a negative KD though.
For them, not for me.
Yeah.
Scoreboard.
Yep. Ryan did so well. It's because you killed everybody in the process. We
You're
still won.
you're that person in the meme on the pedestal biting the gold or biting the metal, doing the champagne, but you're like in 50th place.
Exactly.
And it's all friendly fire kills.
So TKN85 says in either Fable 2 or 3, I can't remember, but you have the option to bring back your murdered family, your dog, or like thousands of people. And I've never made a faster decision in my life. The good boy lives.
The good boy always comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get behind that. It's the right call. All right. So once again, it is trivia time here on Gamers Week podcast. And of course, I am the reigning trivia daddy, but I'm not playing tonight. I am doing the trivia. So these two will be playing for the title of Junior Trivia Daddy.
No. Nope. It's not Junior. Don't give me that Junior shit.
Vice trivia daddy?
I could do Vice trivia, but not Junior.
Sub Trivia Daddy.
No.
You don't want to
Dom
be the sub?
trivia daddy.
Okay. Your protests have been heard. It will be Vice Trivia Daddy.
Assistant to the trivia daddy.
Not assistant, but assistant too, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the theme of the trivia tonight, as we discussed last week, 2025 is a banner year for major video game anniversaries.
Ooh.
For whatever reason, the stars have aligned, and this year there are a ton of monumental game anniversaries to celebrate. So, in that vein, we have 4 categories, each category for a decade: 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. 3 questions under each, 12 questions total. Who wants to go first?
Ryan, since you're coming back, why don't you go first this week?
I'll come on your back. What? Yeah, I'll go first.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Superman.
All right, why don't we start out with 90s?
Okay. Twisted Metal turns 30 this year, having debuted on the PlayStation in 1995. On what day does the game's story take place? Was it A, Independence Day, B, Christmas Eve, C, Halloween, or D, New Year's Eve?
It's either Christmas or New Year's, I want to say. It's a Calypso, the whole thing. I was thinking it was New Year's or Christmas, so I'm gonna go with Christmas.
That your final answer?
It is.
And you are correct. It takes place on Christmas Eve. I was going to be shocked and disappointed if you didn't know that because
Well, like the first date you said it to me, and then I was like, all right, she said Christmas, I'm gonna go with that one. Then you brought in New Year's. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
because I like you talk about the game all the time, so I figured you would know it.
Really quickly, can I ensure I just want to make sure that your chat is off the screen.
Oh yeah, it's still left. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I've got mine that's off the screen. I can't see it.
Yep.
Okay. Yes, everybody in the chat, feel free to play along. These two are on the honor system and will not be looking at your answers. All right, Donnie, pick a category.
Let's go with 80s.
Nintendo debuted the Game & Watch in 1980, making this year its 45th birthday. The company would go on to release 60 different Game & Watch titles between 1980 and 1991. Which title was the line's best seller? Was it A, Popeye, B, Mickey Mouse, C, Donkey Kong, or D, Zelda?
Fuck. My instinct is to go with Donkey Kong. But Zelda, for some reason, has got me. Oh God, this is a coin flip. Watch it be like, oh no, you're wrong. It's Popeye. But, I'm pretty sure it's Donkey Kong. I mean, I've got Mario sitting over here at the Game & Watch. Or no, not the Game & Watch. Just the. No, I'm gonna go with Donkey Kong. Yeah.
Final answer?
No, Jesus, Zelda is just. For some odd reason, Zelda is really screaming at me. God, I'm gonna go with Zelda.
Time for deciding.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Zelda. Final answer.
Final answer.
Yep.
The answer is Donkey Kong.
Oh! As soon as you said I'm going with Zelda, I was like, no, don't. Take it back. Take it back.
Oh.
That one
Okay,
hurt.
Ryan.
Maybe
Yeah.
we shouldn't talk through these. Let's go with 2000s. Let's see how we're good at that.
Okay. Diablo 2, one of the greatest games of all time, released 25 years ago on June 28th, 2000. Which weapon from Diablo 2 is named after a fictional porn star?
Fictional porn star. Do I have to give like the specific name of the weapon, or can I just describe like it's a sword, it's a whatever?
I mean, you got to get close enough, I guess, that we.
I need to name the porn star.
No.
Okay.
By naming the porn star, you name the weapon.
Okay. Peter Gunn. I'm kidding.
Do I get a chance to steal?
Yes, and I'll
Okay,
apologize.
okay.
I should have let Ryan take a chance at that last one but I just couldn't resist that moment, that
Oh,
beautiful
wow.
moment in telling you that it
A
was actually
moment
Donkey
like
Kong.
this. Porn star. It's not Jenna Jameson. That would be dumb. I just like the name Rod Steele is coming to mind.
Rod Steele.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your final
I'm
answer?
gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Rod Steele.
No. Donnie, which
I
weapon
bel-
from Diablo 2 is named after a fictional porn star?
I believe it is Vlad the Impaler.
That is incorrect.
Oh, no! Okay.
I just love the smirk though. That was great.
The weapon is the Diggler Dirk.
Dirk
the
Diggler.
Diggler
Ah,
Dirk.
Normal
okay.
dagger is called the Dirk. The unique dagger is called the Diggler Dirk.
Dirk.
Nice.
Okay.
Boogie Nights reference.
Boogie Nights reference.
See, I'm looking for real porn stars now.
Yeah.
I said fictional porn star like 6 times.
I know, it just wasn't registering. I'm like,
Right.
fictional. Like, that could be anything.
Right.
Donnie, you're up.
90s.
90s. 1995 was a phenomenal year for video games, and there are so many classic titles turning 30 this year that we don't have time to list them all. But which of these 2 titles released on the exact same day? Clock Tower, Super Mario World 2, Chrono Trigger, Panzer Dragoon.
You right there, bud?
Ugh.
Sounds like you were pushing something out there.
Oh, okay. So
Check his shorts later.
Yep.
I know Clock Tower came out on the Super Nintendo first. So,
That is correct.
good lord.
All of those games came out in 1995.
Right. Two of them came out on the same day.
Yes.
So Clock Tower, Super Mario World 2,
Two.
Yeah, Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island, Chrono Trigger, and
Panzer Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon. Son of a bitch. Oh God, this is gonna suck. I don't remember specifically. Chrono Trigger and Panzer Dragoon. Final answer.
That is correct.
Are you shitting me?
I am not.
Oh my
shitting you.
God.
The relief.
Son of
uh... Ryan, your turn.
Let's go with 80s.
Pac-Man, released in arcades in 1980 to immediate success, and even 45 years later, the iconic character is still recognizable all over the world.
Mhm.
In 1981, Japanese manufacturer Shoei decided to capitalize on the game's success by releasing a terrible, erotic version of it. What was the erotic game's title?
Just multiple choice.
It is not.
Really?
Is it something that's going to get me bleeped if I
No.
say it? Okay.
I like where your head was at because I was thinking the same thing. F-Man. An erotic Pac-Man?
Mr. Swallows. Final answer.
No, though that's not a bad guess.
That's.
Donnie, do you have
I
a
don't
shot?
have the first clue. No.
No?
Uh-uh.
The game is called Streaking, and it is a naked woman running around a maze being chased by cops.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're going streaking up in the quad.
To the gymnasium.
Museum.
All right, so checking in, we are tied 1-1.
Okay.
Donnie, your turn.
I think there's only one question left in the 80s category. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's go with the 80s category.
All right. Nintendo's Rob toy launched alongside the NES in 1985, meaning it's turning 40 this year. What do the initials ROB stand for?
I knew you were going to fucking ask that. God. Oh,
I know.
Oh,
Oh, see, he knows. You better get this
yeah,
right.
I'm screwed. Something buddy.
Look at his face. He's so hopeful.
I'm God. I don't know it.
Ryan,
Robotic operating buddy.
you are correct.
Son of a bitch. I got one of it, so like maybe a fraction of a point.
You got the weirdest one, right?
Go Hobo Go says, recycle only, bitch.
Very family friendly.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Ryan.
Let's finish out the 90s.
The inaugural E3 Expo took place on May 11, 1995, meaning that if it was still around, it would be celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. That first E3 Expo is mainly remembered for the famous $299 mic drop Sony PlayStation announcement. But of course, there was a lot more going on. Which of these things did not happen at the first E3? A. The San Diego Chargers cheerleading squad handed out condoms to guests in an attempt to garner interest for the 3DO. B. Nintendo threw a giant party the night before the show, staffed by hired supermodels called the Nintendettes. C. Despite the fact that the CEOs all hated it, Sony debuted its new mascot, Polygon Man, a disembodied alien designed to highlight PlayStation's great ability at handling 3D. Or D. John Wayne Bobbitt. Yes,
Ooh.
that John Wayne Bobbitt, who became an international celebrity when his wife emasculated him in his sleep, autographed copies of a porn game titled Uncut.
So the John Wayne Bobbitt one sounds way too specific to not be included. Um, Polygon Man does sound like PlayStation, something they would create. The fact that on Nintendo we got Nintendogs but not Nintendettes upsets me a little bit.
It's a missed opportunity. You could take care of your supermodels.
I gotta have a hard time thinking about condoms for the 3DO.
There's the
There was, like, a
90s, man.
Yeah, I know, and like the whole, Lisa Left Eye Lopez and safe sex and stuff was very
Yeah.
popular. I struggled. It's the first two. It's one of the first two, is what I'm thinking.
So condoms or Nintendettes
Yep,
goes hand in hand.
they're so similar. Which also makes me believe that Blue wouldn't come up with two things that are so similar. So now look at all this.
I'm in your head now.
You're definitely in my head. I'm gonna go with Polygon Man then.
Final answer?
Yep.
That is incorrect. Polygon Man is real.
Was it
Can't hurt
really?
me.
He can't hurt you.
Okay.
Donnie, do you have a guess?
So it's either the Nintendettes, the condoms, or the... What was the fourth one again?
John Wayne Bobbitt.
John Wayne Bobbitt. Okay, I'm going to go with it's the Nintendettes. Nintendettes. That did not happen.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is incorrect.
Hmm.
The Nintendettes did happen.
Okay.
Why didn't we get a Nintendettes game?
So which one didn't happen?
The correct answer is the San Diego Chargers cheerleaders were not there handing out condoms. They were
Okay.
there. They were not handing out condoms, but they were there to help market for the 3DO.
Interesting. Okay. So score update. Ryan is at 2. I'm at 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Donnie, I believe it's your turn.
Let's go to the 2000s.
Okay. 2005 brought us some heavy hitter titles, all turning 20 this year, such as God of War, Shadow of the Colossus, and Yakuza. But what was the best selling game of 2005? Was it Gran Turismo 4, Madden NFL 06, Star Wars Battlefront 2, or Resident Evil 4?
Son of a bitch. I thought it was going to be Guitar Hero. Boy, you cannot really... Madden didn't really get... No, they were... Fuck. Okay, so Madden, Star Wars, Resident Evil 4. I'm going to say it's probably Madden.
Final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Madden.
Incorrect.
Son of
Interesting. That was the one I was gonna pick. So, Star Wars, Resident Evil 4, and then what's the first one?
Gran Turismo 4.
Which I don't think is it, but
Gran Turismo 4? Really?
let's go with Resident Evil 4.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That is also incorrect.
Damn.
The answer was Gran Turismo 4.
Ugh.
Okay. I would expect that from Gran Turismo 2, but 4?
Gran Turismo 4.
Okay.
Ryan, you're up.
Let's go crazy. Let's do 2010s.
Let's get nuts.
All right. 15 years ago, the Kinect released for the Xbox 360 on November 4th, 2010. The controller-free motion sensing device sold an incredible 10 million units in its first 60 days on the market. That's an average of over 133,000 units per day. This feat earned it the Guinness World Record for the fastest-selling consumer electronics device, a title it apparently still holds today. What device was the previous record holder? Was it the Wii, the iPad, the Galaxy S phone, or the iPhone 4?
I know people are crazy about iPhones compared to Galaxy phones, so the Wii did gangbusters, so that one's... Oof, you picked too good a choices, Blue. iPhone 4, final answer.
That is correct.
I was gonna go with that one. Damn it.
See, I thought I was like, the Wii's a trap. The Wii is a trap.
Actually, I chose those because those were all, well, except for the Galaxy S phone, because this was the year of the first Android phone. But the others were all former record holders that
Okay.
beat each other.
Okay.
So, Donnie,
2000s.
2000s. Okay, this is the final 2000s. Portable gaming revenue rose 96% in 2005 thanks to the releases of the PlayStation Portable and the Nintendo DS. What was the best selling handheld gaming title of that year? Was it A, Pokemon Emerald, B, Mario Kart DS, C, Nintendogs, or D, Animal Crossing Wild World?
God, it's probably Nintendogs. Ugh. Every single freaking pickup that I have with the DS has a copy of Nintendogs.
It's funny. I mentioned Diablo 2 earlier, and you had a Diablo 2 question. Mentioned Nintendogs earlier. You got to.
Are you spying on my notes?
So, Nintendogs, Super Mario Kart DS, Pokemon,
Animal Crossing.
Pokemon and Animal Crossing. Something tells me it's probably not Pokemon. I think those are a dime a dozen. You know, if you played one Pokemon, you've played them all. It's really coming down to me between Nintendogs and Animal Crossing. Gut wants me to go with Nintendogs. I'm gonna say, and you know what? This last time my gut was Donkey Kong, and I went against it. So I'll say Nintendogs. Final answer.
The answer is Nintendogs.
Thank you, God. Oh my God. I was like, there's no way. Every single DS that I picked up off Marketplace, it's got a bundle of games. What's in there? Nintendogs.
And no one has played it since.
No,
Right,
everyone
yeah.
hates it.
TKN85 says, I used my tax refund in 2010 to buy a Kinect and throw a party for people to play it. Dumbest thing I ever did.
Mhm.
Oh. Yikes.
Okay, so score is Ryan 3, Donnie 2. There are two questions left. So these are fairly important.
Yes.
Ryan, you are up for this one. The year 2015 brought us some of our favorite titles. Specifically for you two, it was 10 years ago that we saw the launch of both Splatoon and Batman Arkham Knight. But which of those two titles sold better? And hint, it was very, very close.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Arkham Knight an exclusive or not?
No, I believe it was both on the PS3 and the Xbox.
But the fact that it's close does not help now. I wish you didn't
No.
say that. Because then I would feel more sure. Intuitively, my mind would say it's Arkham Knights, but just at the surprise factor, I think a lot of times we ask these questions because they're also surprising to us when we look them up. So I'm going to go with Splatoon. Final answer.
That is incorrect.
So Donnie just gets a point.
Do I get to steal?
No.
I'm
you
gonna
don't.
go with I don't, since it was a 1 or 2. Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah. That'll make up for not letting Ryan steal the Donkey Kong answer.
Absolutely.
Okay, last question, Donnie. You're first up for this question, and this will allow you to tie. Otherwise, Ryan gets to be the vice trivia daddy.
The assistant to the traveling secretary. Okay.
2015 was the year of the indie games with titles like Crypt of the Necrodancer, Life is Strange, Her Story, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, all celebrating their 10th birthdays this year. But what title won Best Indie Game at the 2015 Game Awards? Was it A, Ori and the Blind Forest, B, Rocket League, C, Axiom Verge, or D, Undertale?
Best game at the Game Awards?
Best
Best
indie
indie
game
game.
at the Game Awards in 2015.
Rocket League. Final answer.
Yes.
Was it really?
Yes.
Ah!
All right. Congratulations. The game ends in a tie, 3-3, which means
We're all winners here.
you're both or neither of you are the vice trivia
I'm cool with both.
daddy.
Yeah,
Yep.
Both? Okay.
we can share it.
2 co-vice trivia daddies. So thank you everyone for playing along.
Oh my God. I just pulled that out of my ass.
Right. What
Well-
a buzzer beater. You're like,
I'm thinking of the other games. I'm like, okay, Ori I've heard of, but
Mhm.
I don't think any of them have made a profound impact like Rocket League has. So
I mean, those are all major
yeah.
indie
Absolutely.
games.
Yeah. But I think Rocket League, I mean, you've got esports that have formed because of Rocket League and whatnot. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to throw that out there.
and now it's
Right.
available on every platform you can think of, including, your iPod Shuffle.
It's just like Doom.
Yeah, but can you play it on a pregnancy test?
With enough.
Ooh, that's a good question.
There's a
We'll
will and a
find
way,
out.
right?
Right.
I'm not positive.
But
All right, with that in mind, thank you for listening to episode 157 of Gamers Week podcast, and a big thank you to the Retro Game Club podcast, Love Retro BTW, a Gamer Looks at 40 podcast, and Pixel Pond Production Company for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. And if you want to follow or you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central, and email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com, or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/GamersWeek. Finally, since you made it all the way to the end of the episode, please leave us a rating or review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, considering subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or the podcast platform of choice. Donnie, number 3. All right. So thank you all for stopping by. We had quite a good crowd tonight, so we appreciate you guys making us part of your Wednesday. And we'll go ahead and raid our good friends at Pixel Pond. So we'll go ahead and send you guys over to there. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. Had a few new follows tonight too. So thank you guys for those, and a few subs. So appreciate all of the support, and we will see you next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks, everyone. I may or may not have the daddy medallion next week. We'll
Lou,
see. You have to
put
tune
it
in to find out.
down.
No, Frank requested to see it again.
No, I think as long as you hold that title, it's a staple. You have to wear that every single episode to assert your dominance. And I'm going to
with
be
that.
okay with that.
Okay. It is decided.
It is decided. And I'm as shocked as you are. I thought we were going to go to a sudden death. I'm glad, because I was nervous and on edge. I don't think I could have handled another question.
I never in a million years thought you guys would tie. I didn't even bother to prepare a tiebreaker.
Boo!
And that's how the cookie crumbles.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Like Ryan said, all the people that subbed and showed up first time here, we appreciate you guys finding us and joining us here for our live episodes. Some of the stuff that you post in chat will make it into our live edited version of the episode that we release every Friday. And also we release this particular video on YouTube. So go there, watch along, throw some comments in the chat there. Tonight we are going to raid our friends Pixel Pond Productions, and right now they're playing some retro. You guys go ahead and have a good night with them. They will take care of you, and we will see you next week.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night. Bye.